Are we starting?
Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
wonderful.
Welcome.
It's not Halloween anymore.
Do you know what I'm welcoming you to?
The podcast.
The We Should Talk More podcast. How about that? Welcome back, guys. It's November. Some point in November.
Are
The
we in
second
No-
week
oh,
of
yeah, it
November.
is. Yeah.
Happy
it's,
second week of November.
You made it past your birthday. How was that?
It was a blast.
Yeah, how'd you spend it?
I had cake.
Yeah. Did you spend time with your girlfriend?
Yes. We had cake.
You had
Anyways, welcome back to the We Should Talk More podcast. The
don't wanna get into that
podcast
cake.
where two lifelong friends with not much in common, maybe a little more in common now, who try to get a little bit closer.
Definitely a lot more tension.
But a little bit closer. We're actually like sitting closer is what I meant.
With a level of comfort, yes.
What kind of tension are you talking about? Sexual tension?
No. The bad type of tension.
Oh, okay.
Only the bad type.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh.
I'm only playing. Halloween's over, I said.
God damn it. All right, yeah, welcome back, guys. I'm John, your co-host, and I'm just a happy guy.
And hi, I'm Josh Coronel. Living up the season with my seasonal outfit still.
Oh yes.
And I got new glasses to add to the fit.
Can you guys rate his glasses on the Instagram comments? Please rate his glasses. Let us know.
listeners, leave a review.
Perry Ellis's. Let us know.
Leave a review on the podcast app and let us know what you thought listening to my glasses.
How have you been?
Oh yeah, we have a coffee hour ahead of us where we're going to talk about how we've
Yeah.
been. I've been doing well.
You've been doing well?
I
You
have.
look well.
Thank you. Do I?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a little pale.
You look better than you were last week.
In what ways?
I don't want to get into it.
Oh, we don't have to. Before we get into the coffee hour, why don't you tell them what this episode's about?
Well, I didn't want to get them too excited, but we are talking about a dating related topic. We're talking about dating apps, which if you've been a longtime listener, it's something that we've mentioned at least like 2 times, I think, at this point, when we talk about social media and yeah.
I think we've
An
talked about
extension.
dating apps in every single dating episode.
This is true. But now we're actually doing a whole topic on it.
Mm-hmm.
Diving into different apps, our uses of them, our experiences, getting a little specific and kind of peeling back a little more of the history that we may not have been able to touch on when we first spoke about this. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah. I also added in a bit of my approach when it comes to using dating apps. And just for fun, because I was interested, I did a little bit more digging into the features of each of the apps specifically. So we can talk about that a bit.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, no. No
Yeah,
password.
I took the passcode off for you. So John is short a phone today. So he's using my iPad because
My phone broke.
his phone broke.
I dropped my phone outside
Mhm.
walking in to film this podcast. So imagine that.
But do let us know about the video quality because he upgraded his camera this past week.
Do you like it? Give them time to answer.
Leave a review in terms of how good the quality of this camera sounds.
We're asking them sounds. we're giving them a lot of questions to answer. Like for your classes now the camera quality. You guys have homework.
You do.
But before we get into your dumbass opinions, it's coffee hour time.
How was your week?
My week was good.
Wait,
What's
I don't care about your week. You're not drinking coffee. Why?
Oh, doctor recommended to lay off the juice.
I'm drinking coffee alone. John is drinking
I would have
water.
drinking a beer.
I could have given you a beer.
But then I kind of chickened out. I didn't want to have a beer.
We can pause the podcast and come back with a beer.
Nah, it's fine.
You know, that's the nice thing about podcasting. You can pause at any moment.
Yeah, so can the viewers. Viewer, can you pause this podcast so I can get a beer? If you pause on Spotify right now, I just need 2 minutes. Let me go.
That is not how you keep your listeners engaged.
No, they'll sit patiently waiting the 2 minutes and then unpause. I trust them. I trust you guys.
No. Our loyal listeners might be.
They're too nice.
Yeah.
They're too nice to us.
But what were you going to say about your week?
It was pretty good. I was gonna say it was funny. It's funny that we're it's like we had this conversation kind of like, you know, but now we'll dive in a little more. It was nice. I saw you this weekend.
I did.
I did.
I did see you this weekend.
She just said me too.
I could have said me too. Why are you so awkward?
I don't know. I got to work on my social interaction. But yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a very eventful weekend. I'm coming off a really busy week and I'm just looking to relax this week.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
This weekend you're not doing anything.
This weekend
you're seeing me.
I am seeing you again for our
rescheduled
hayride.
Yeah. If you listened in last week, I think we mentioned that we were doing a hayride this past weekend, but we didn't because it rained. So we went out for margaritas instead.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, classic John and Josh thing.
Yeah.
I also had margaritas the next day. Classic. So that was my weekend. Outside of that, I had a hearing today.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. How did that go?
So in Chicago, a few months back, I got a parking ticket because I entered in the license plate number wrong. There were 2 letters that were set off to the side vertically and then horizontally all the numbers. So I figured the license plate number was only those numbers that were listed out. And I entered in those numbers. And then when we came back, John was with me, so he knows about the story. We came back to the car and saw a ticket on the car. I'm like, I don't know what happened here. So I checked over the parking ticket. And I had to wait a whole while before I was able to receive a notice of how to actually contest the ticket. I contested it as soon as they saw all the documents. I showed them the receipt. I showed them how the license plate looked. It was all resolved, and they dissolved the ticket.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's been so long since that happened is what I mean. Like, it's funny.
I know. And it's been sitting over my shoulders for a while, and like that was like a little bit of a burden that I was frustrated about, but it's handled finally.
Yeah. Nice. How much was it?
The ticket was $70.
Oh,
now it's nothing.
Yeah, that's good.
But I did have to pay the $30 for the car rental company to handle it.
Oh,
yeah.
At least it's resolved.
Yeah, it's handled.
Yeah.
That was my week. There were probably other highlights there. Like I actually studied this weekend.
Oh, I think you mentioned that over margaritas.
Yeah, I was telling Jonathan about it, my brother, because he's not a dimwit like you. He would understand a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I studied some stuff in like the interest of we were talking about going to Red Robin, remember?
Oh, did you actually go?
Yeah, and no one showed up.
I don't think you actually went.
I went 2 p.m. on Sunday. So I messaged these folks, meaning John and some other friends of the show, saying, hey, look, I'm building my own dating app in preparation of this episode, right? I'm building my own dating app. If you want to be part of this is going to be huge. Meet me at Red Robin, 2 p.m. This will go into the history books of Josh's new dating app. No one showed up.
I wanted to. I had plans.
That's great.
I would have been there.
But you had plans.
I did have plans.
Look, you won't be in the history book.
I guess you'll be there by yourself, but you know, all these guys started on their own, so
all these guys.
Yeah, you know, like Steve.
Steve had Steve Wozniak with him too.
Mm-hmm. Steve had Steve Wozniak.
It's funny. I think both of their names were Steve.
Oh, were they really?
Yeah, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak.
Yeah. The Steves. So I was being very. What if I was talking about Steve Wozniak?
You were just considering them unified. You were considering them one.
The Steves.
The Steves.
Yeah.
Yeah. You knew all along.
Yeah. Yeah. I know my history about Microsoft.
Let's move on.
All right. Let's cut down to business. Let's get it down.
Get
to it.
Let's
talk about dating apps.
Get down to the brass tacks.
Yeah,
of things.
Yeah, we could if that's what you want to say.
That's you're saying.
I don't think I've ever said that.
Let's get into brass tacks. How did it work?
let's get down to brass tacks.
That's what it was. My bad.
I got to look up the meaning of that. Anyways.
I looked up the origin once.
Did you?
I can't tell you what it was.
Do you think there was a tax on brass? Let's not discuss it. All right. So do you want to lay it? Because I think you added to the outline. So why don't you describe the outline we have going?
Yeah, so we got into it a little bit, but John mentioned we're going to start with our history, what our experience was with using dating apps, when we started using it, how long it's been, and some interesting stories that may come out of that. And then I added in my approach. Looks like John may have added some stuff there too. Whereas our approach with using these dating apps, how do we actually go about swiping, talking to people, and hopefully moving it forward to a date and what your intentions are there. And then our thoughts about each of the respective apps. I also put a profile review.
We're gonna look over your profile.
If you don't mind.
I would love to.
Oh, that would be fun. We'll close off with that to have a little bit of fun at the end. So stay tuned.
Am I gonna be able to rate your profile?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
With my profile.
Oh, can I edit it?
No.
Oh, so that's not whatever I want, is it?
In terms of a review, you're allowed to do whatever you want,
Okay.
and to the extent that it's a review.
Okay, fine.
Go ahead and get started.
All right.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah. Let's ask each other questions.
That would be better. So John, when did you get on your first dating app?
I joined Tinder freshman year of college.
What made you interested?
Because there were so many hot girls in college, like all over the place, and I was not talking to anybody. So I'm like, I gotta get on this thing.
How old were you at the time?
Freshman year of college, I was 17.
Hold up. That's against the community guidelines. This is why you got banned.
Yeah, maybe they found out. Yeah, I had to change my age because I think I turned 18 like in November, but I was on the app like in August, like when I first started school.
Gotcha.
I remember, I don't know how you felt. I'll ask you how you felt after this, but I remember being very not grossed out, but like thinking that the idea of being on an app was kind of like weird, like only like weirdos were on those.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of what do you call it? A big stigma against the app at the time.
Like a taboo.
Yeah, it's been normalized since, but it was a huge stigma that surrounded the application.
Yeah, which is interesting how much it has changed, like from then until now. Because now it's like you end up dating people and you just like casually talk about it, like, oh, like me and my girlfriend met like on so and so app.
Yeah, and back then it was a big thing to always come up with a story about how you would meet your significant other if you met them off of Tinder.
Yeah.
Because no one wanted to share that, hey, I met this girl or my husband off of Tinder. It always had like a negative vibe about it.
Yeah. But let me ask you the same question. When did you first get on an app?
For me, it was in between breakups with my ex. So
2017?
Exactly. So the summer of 2017 was the summer that I ended my relationship with my ex before getting back together like 6 months later. And at that time, I was thinking, Josh, you're finally out of a relationship for the first time. Let's go back to your old 8th grade years of playing the field. And it should be fairly easy. I'm seeing everyone else using this app, and it has this, it's notorious for being the hookup app.
Yeah.
So I was like, no problem. It's going to secure the bag for me. Didn't quite work out that way. We'll get into that.
Yeah. Yeah, I never had any hookups. I know I did, but not at first. I was notoriously just swipe. Oh, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I would always delete Tinder. So I was on Tinder first, and I would delete it like after the semester ended, and then re-download it right before the semester ended.
Would you delete your account?
Yeah, like completely.
Just to get the fresh batch of women again.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it kind of helps because you're put back as like a new account, but at the time I was just doing because like I'm like I probably swiped on a lot of these girls who are no longer interested in me. So let me give it another shot.
It's also this idea that it's a new semester.
Yeah,
New you.
and there's
You're
also
looking better.
yeah, and there's like incoming students too. So I'll be like a new account on campus. Oh, and that's the thing too that I didn't mention. I was only I had my radius at like 2 miles, and I would swipe only on campus because like I only wanted to match with someone from my school.
Yeah, I wasn't that specific. I remember speaking to a person who was at the gym a lot about using Tinder because he got me onto it. And he would tell me, as a strategy, start off with 1 mile and expand from there, and like try to cut it off around 5 miles. You've swiped enough at that point.
Yeah.
And that would be good in terms of making sure you have like a good amount of volume that you can get through. With hopefully getting somebody who's nearby and somebody that might actually be real with expectations to perhaps meet.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, just try that now. I think there's so many users on Tinder. You're not going to even like stop finding people to swipe on within a 1 or 2 mile radius.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is interesting because I do remember I used to run into all the time hitting the limit, like swiping on like 2 miles. My max was always 5 miles, so that's interesting that you guys said that. Like I never wanted to go further than that, and I would always like freshman year, like earlier, I would always hit like a limit
where it would like
you like swipe through
like
everybody.
there's not anyone
yeah.
left in the span.
Yeah,
the radius that you set.
Yeah, that used to happen a lot. But yeah, I think like when I was most recently on it, I don't think that ever happened.
Yeah,
like at least for a while.
Yeah, I don't think it does happen anymore.
Yeah,
I'm still swiping. Context here: John's no longer swiping. Lost soldier.
Yeah. Hoorah!
Rest in peace. And still swiping now. Never run out of space.
Tinder, they started doing a thing where after even when you hit a limit, when they expand your settings.
Yeah, I think a lot of these apps are doing this.
Yeah.
They'll give you people that are outside of your range, and they'll just throw them in there in the middle of you swiping.
Yeah.
I think Tinder was doing this with the setting of matching with people globally who have traveled to where you are.
Yeah.
So they have this virtual traveling feature where people who have one of the membership tiers that they pay for can set a location that they want to swipe for. So if somebody's swiping in your area, then they might pop up if you have this toggle turned on. And I just discovered this toggle yesterday, actually, as I was preparing for this, looking through a little bit of the settings, and I turned that off promptly. Definitely, I don't care to match with somebody who's 8,000 miles away, just wanted to meet somebody to talk virtually for I don't know what intentions.
Yeah, from what I remember, whenever I would see those accounts, they also always like look like they were fake.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fake accounts like that, but I also think there's not anything against anyone who's doing this. I just think a different type of person with different types of intentions swiping.
Yeah.
That I'm not really interested in interacting with all that much.
Also, like if it's someone from like 8,000 miles away or something, like you're not gonna.
Now you will get people doing this in the ways that we were doing it, using this feature.
Oh yes.
Where we were using the feature in advance of going on a vacation to a different city. So before we went to Arizona, we already set our destination or Tinder location to Arizona and started swiping there a week before we got there. The same thing when we went to Midwest, or at least I did. I don't remember if you did. Yeah, at that time you were in your relationship already?
No, but we were like
pretty close.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Anyway, tell me a story or two.
This is so fabricated. Well, the one story that I wrote down that I found really funny that I just remembered, and I don't think I ever told you this, was there was a girl. So yeah, I would always swipe at school. So all of the matches I would get were people from like South Orange, like that were like from Seton Hall. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the people I would match with were people that I actually knew, because like Seton Hall was really small, so like I would see a lot of familiar faces and stuff. But there was this one girl that I matched with, and I didn't know her personally, but I knew I had seen her like in school, because I think she was actually, no, I didn't see her in school at all, actually, because she was doing a different major than me. So we had spoken for a little bit and like nothing ever came from it. But I think we were gonna go on a date and then like nothing was ever solidified. But there was an internship that I was applying for later that year, and she was the one that was like coordinating it. So she's the one that interviewed me for the internship. And it was an internship for Phil Murphy. He was running for when he was running for governor in 2017.
Do you think she remembered?
I think she did.
You think she recognized?
Because when we met on campus, and she kind of like did like a double take, and like so did I, but we never acknowledged it. It was just like an awkward tension. There was like an awkward tension between us as she was asking me stuff, because like we already knew
throughout
each other.
the interview.
Yeah.
What was the extent of your conversation with her?
We went for like a walk around campus. Like it was probably you mean like before
Through Tinder?
Oh, I mean, we must have like messaged back and forth for like a week and a half or something like that. Like,
was that involved?
Yeah, we had spoken like a little bit, but we never actually like went on a date or anything.
You never met up?
No, but like we spoke enough where we actually like knew each other and could like recognize each other.
Does she still have you on social media, or did she ever have you on social media?
No, we never added each other on social media.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's really awkward.
It was just a funny situation, and it's funny that I buried it like deep until recently. I just remembered for this thing.
Yeah, I really don't. I think you may have told it to me before, but it was a surprise when I was checking over the notes and saw it, and I thought it was really funny. Now I will say, for myself, while the summer was totally wildly unsuccessful for me when I first got on, and then I got off once I got back with my ex. And then after that relationship, I stayed off of a lot of social media at that time. I may or may not been on Tinder. I don't quite remember because I don't think I was swiping all that actively. I did start seeing somebody around this time. And then when I moved to Wisconsin, promptly got back on these apps. And I remember having a few dates back to back, but none of them resulted in anything. They're all pretty shitty dates. Yeah. No follow-up dates. The one that was the best, and I think I mentioned this in a past podcast before, was somebody that I wasn't personally interested in. So never followed up on that side from my end. But I think the other dates were that they were less interested in I am than I was in them.
Yeah.
So that was the outcome all throughout Wisconsin. I did have one or two towards the end that were better, but that was around the time I was leaving anyway, so it was whatever.
Were you primarily on Tinder, or were you at this time like Tinder and Bumble and like something else?
That's a great question. I think it was Tinder, Bumble, and don't remember if I got on Hinge at this time. It may have just been Tinder and Bumble. Yeah. But then once I got back, I think I got on more apps. But while I was on more apps, it was also the middle of the pandemic, so not many people were trying to meet up.
Yeah, I feel like that was definitely the weird thing, because there was definitely a lot more people on the apps, on those apps.
There were,
and that probably even added now to like the more, because I've seen a lot of people coming out of quarantine like in relationships, like meeting people, or like I'm sure there were a ton of people that
know what? That's probably what normalized it so much and removed the stigma around it, because
I feel
everyone
like it
was
added
online.
to it a lot, because it just became a common thing, because it's like regular dating wasn't an option for most people. Yeah,
exactly. People weren't seeing each other in person, and then virtual dating became a thing. I did a few virtual dates. Actually, before I left Wisconsin, I did a virtual date where I was able to meet the person soon after. So virtual dates could work out. I didn't do an awful lot with it though. I always found it a little awkward.
Oh, for virtual? Yeah, I never did a virtual date.
Yeah, I know some people had fun with it.
Yeah,
there's always like those ideas of like different activities you can do virtually, but honestly, for me, while I would want something serious, I'm also not looking to put too much effort into my dating apps.
Yeah.
So when it comes to going on a date with somebody virtually, I don't think about like setting up something that could be fun over a virtual date, like a cooking activity or playing a game virtually or what have you. I would just have a conversation over the phone, maybe have a drink together virtually. But that's the extent of it.
Did you have, well, I guess you mentioned some of your successes in like early COVID.
I didn't have successes early COVID. I had like a virtual date that didn't pan into anything. We were planning a hike, but it never happened. And from there, I may have had a few more matches that turned into some conversations, but didn't really pan into anything at that point. It was not until after I started getting, I didn't have to focus as much with the job hunt and all like my career struggles this past year that things started picking up with my dating apps, because I don't think I was very focused on my dating life at that point because I had a lot of other things to focus on.
Yeah. I feel like some of this is stuff that we touched upon in like the dating after college thing, with like, cause I guess it's funny to think about, like we were talking about our dating stuff during COVID, but like all of our dating stuff during COVID was on dating apps. So like this is like we're just like rehashing it, going over. But I guess like diving into the actual experience like with the apps, because I know I had a lot of I started using them a lot more. I was using Bumble a lot like after college too, but I feel like with all the COVID scares that we were having too, like I think I had told the stories of it, but there were like some girls were like I had went on a date with them, and then like there was like a COVID scare, and then I never had a second date, because when we were planning our second date was like the week that something happened. So I feel like that definitely happened a lot with people that I was matching with, or like I would match with them and nothing would come from it in terms of a date. But
yeah, there was a lot of uncertainty about what would be appropriate around this time when it was COVID, what you were comfortable with and what the other person was comfortable with. I know a lot of these apps at this time did introduce features to help facilitate that too, where it would be like, I think it's on Bumble, where you can say what you would be okay doing. Would you be okay going on a date without a mask? Would you be okay meeting in person? What type of crowd would you be okay to be around? Things like that, because that's not something you always talk about up front. And to have that information presented on somebody's profile, I think it just helps out a ton. So I thought that was really neat.
I like that too. Yeah, it made it easier to just figure out like what would actually happen, I guess, like if you were going to go on a date, you kind of already know.
Agreed. But I will say, since I got my career back together, with everything that has happened this past year, dating has been on the uptick a lot recently. I won't get too much into it, but I've been learning a lot. I think also just having these conversations with you two have contributed to that, because it's been a little bit more clear as to what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I feel like, I think we might have spoken about it before, but I definitely feel like just the start of this year, a lot of the dating stuff like picked up for both of us. Like, I think also with things getting a little better with COVID, like actually going on dates, like I definitely went on a lot more like actual like physical dates this year than I did all of last year, and probably 2019 as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to meet your partner on one of these dating apps?
I think you can, because I done had.
Wow, for real? Can you share your story?
Oh yeah, I guess this is in the history part. I met my current girlfriend on Hinge. And I was about to get off Hinge, because I guess we could talk about it when we talk about the app specifically, but Hinge it's kind of difficult. Like you definitely have to put a lot more effort into it. And I wasn't getting as much success. Like I would definitely.
You met your partner. No success.
Well, I think like, cause what I would, well, and I'm sure like you too, like it's a lot easier just like swipes. Like I used to always just like swipe through, like you'd have your like allotted time in a day where you're just like swiping through the apps. Like
mine
Hinge,
is during work meetings.
you might want to be careful now that they probably won't listen to this, unless I clip it and send it to them.
I'm only joking. It's only for the podcast.
But I feel like Hinge, I would always like, it would be more time. Like I would want to sit down and actually read like their stuff, and you have to send responses. For me, like sending responses, I really felt the need to like actually contribute something. I don't know if
me and you are very different there.
I think I want to see if I added it in the history part, or maybe it was in my approach. But I think something that, this was in my approach, but I'll just mention it here. Like something that I used to do for all these apps, like I felt the need to like add a bit more of my personality to interactions, because I guess I just figured like most of my pictures weren't like like super like hot photos. So like compared to like I mean, I guess also
yeah,
just
to work
the
a little bit
idea,
more.
like even if you are attractive, like you're one attractive guy in a sea of attractive guys. So like I would
You're
try
right.
to add like a bit of personality into stuff. So like Hinge, I felt like, oh yeah, I can write like a long response to like a prompt. So like I'm gonna put like the effort to like get who I am across. So it's not just like on Bumble or whatever,
One-dimensional,
just like
yeah.
saying hey or whatever, like a one word answer a question. But she had a prompt and I gave her a very like detailed maybe a little personal, like embarrassing story about myself. That ended up working out and we ended up talking from there, and we spoke for a month on Hinge before actually meeting. And I think I added this here, but there was a point where she was the only person I was talking to on Hinge, because like I was already like kind of phasing out Hinge. Like I didn't really want to use it, but I was basically just going on Hinge to talk to her because I didn't have any like.
You should have moved it to
I don't
Instagram
remember
at
Hinge.
some point.
I think Hinge bumps down your matches to it's like a hidden thing.
They do.
After a while, so like all of mine were at hidden, and it was just
Her.
it was just Maggie. So that was funny.
That's really sweet.
And she said too that she was like considering getting off of it. Who knows? Who knows, Maggie? I don't trust you. No, I don't know, but
as long as she's off of it now.
yeah. Who knows? If you see her, would you tell me?
I'm gonna start swiping on the Swinger app.
Swinger.
I might find her there.
Oh, you might find both of us
I
there.
might find both of you there.
But yeah, I mean, there's definitely successes that you can get from dating apps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm happy that one of us can share that story. So that definitely contributes here. And while we were going through this, I feel like we should switch gears a bit and actually get into a little bit more context into the apps before we get into the approach, because I'm thinking,
Yeah, that makes a bit more sense.
yeah, because some people might not be familiar with these apps at all.
Yeah.
So, and we've already talked about a lot of these apps without much context here, and like we've done a little bit of gap filling as we've gone along just to fill in the space. But I think that would be useful before we move forward too much. So I know we've talked about like our thoughts with some of these apps and what. Oh, sorry, I opened up the wrong one. I thought I opened up your stuff. We talked about our thoughts a little bit with some of these apps, but I know with Tinder, we wrote down here Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. I also included Facebook dating because I'm on Facebook dating.
Yeah.
Did you include any other apps?
No, those were the three that I used.
Yeah, and I think they're the biggest three.
Yeah.
I also have Coffee Meets Bagel. I don't have too much success on Coffee Meets.
Coffee Meets Bagel.
Yeah, you get it was made by Asians, so you get a huge Asian demographic on that app, and I am interested in dating Asians. I'm definitely within my preferences, but they might not be all that interested in dating me, perhaps, because I don't get as much success on that app.
Yeah.
Some people say it's the beard. Who knows? But anyway, Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge are the big top competitors right now in the dating app space anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So with one thing I do want to do is talk a little bit about how these apps are a little different. I know with Tinder, it's a lot more upfront about not being as much effort put into it. So it's a little more casual with what the implications are. There are definitely people who are looking for something serious, but it's a lot easier to find matches here. And I think they have a bit more of a population anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tinder definitely has like the biggest like use. Like there's a ton of people there.
I will say, I think you see the opposite from a guy and a girl's perspective. As a guy, you see some of the hottest girls across all three apps on Tinder. And from a girl's perspective, I've heard that women see far fewer attractive men on Tinder than they see on Bumble.
Oh, I was gonna say that I've seen more attractive women on Bumble.
Really?
That's what people used to say when I was in college. Like, but Bumble was the reason I downloaded Bumble was because like a lot of guys that I was talking to in college were saying that like Bumble was where all the hot girls were.
Oh, I would find more attractive women on Tinder.
No, at least not in my experience.
I have well, my rationale in terms of why it might make sense that women are seeing more attractive men on Bumble is because I don't get as many matches on Bumble, so I'm probably not popping up there for them. But that's neither here nor there. On Tinder, I definitely have far more matches, and I have far more attractive matches on Tinder.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got a lot more matches on Tinder, but I think Bumble I got a lot more. Like it was less, but it was more quality matches.
Okay. That's true too. You get more quality matches on Bumble than you will with Tinder. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like I have 200 or so matches on Tinder, but only a handful of them are anything that I've met or is anyone that I've actually met in person and gone out on a date with or followed up with.
Yeah.
I will add in here too. Tinder allows a little bit more spicy content on your profile. I remember adding a shirtless picture on Bumble and it was immediately removed, but I've had that same shirtless picture on Tinder for like years past. No longer on my profile. I've since made my profile a little bit more modest. But they also have I don't know. Oh, they now allow you to include videos on Tinder.
Yeah,
that's a new thing. They allow. You've seen that?
No, I've seen like that was around when I was still on it.
Oh, okay. I just had to confirm. I showed you this recently. They now added a new explore page.
Oh yeah, it kind of reminded me of Snapchat
with like how it's like a card design. Tinder allows you. I mean, the way that it works, if you're not familiar with any of these apps, you swipe, you match with somebody over time, and then you can chat with them and hopefully meet in person. And Tinder is designed, I think they're like one of the first apps to actually introduce the swiping feature, and that kind of like revolutionized dating because it just made it so easy to like match with people, just having swiping right or swiping left to be able to say, I like this person, I don't like this person, without having to actually intentionally click any buttons. Mm-hmm. And then you see with an app like Hinge, and we'll get into Hinge in a little bit, is they intentionally do not include swiping, so you are more intentional with your dating. You can say something specific, and John was mentioning this earlier, is that you can say something specific that you like on their page. So whether it's a prompt, a picture, a prompt to their picture, you can leave a comment, or you can like specifically any of those three. And start a conversation from there. But Tinder is just right swipes and left swipes. They now added a new explore page where it's supposed to be recommendations based on things that Tinder thinks you like. So whether they think you like going out for drinks, which is my top recommendation apparently. That is usually my first date with girls. So somehow they know. I don't know.
Is that not in your profile at all?
I don't think it is.
I wonder if they just read your have scanned through your messages and seen that you've like asked them to get drinks like so many amount of times.
It might be, honestly. That's interesting. I don't know. It's a little creepy. They also have a feature where you can. It's only available at certain times. I think if enough users are around, or if they roll it out to you, because I think it's in beta testing. But you saw it too. Excuse me. I don't remember if you were able to use it. There's this game, a live game where you can swipe, and it'll match you. It's not you swipe. They randomly match you with somebody. You have a conversation with them, and as you continue to have a conversation with the timer clicking or ticking down, you slowly see their page.
No.
That was the live game that I told you to try out, but I think it never matched you with anyone. Not because you weren't cute or anything. It's just that they were phasing it out of rollout, I think, at that time. And I stopped matching with people too, because it's on and off. You'll see it available only sometimes. So I got That's available. I don't like it too much because sometimes you might have a 2-minute conversation with somebody and then you realize it's not someone you're attracted to. And I think that's probably the biggest thing against a feature like that. I do think there's apps specifically designed to be something just like that, but that's always the biggest complaint. If you have an app where you slowly reveal somebody's profile, you don't ever know upfront whether or not you're truly attracted to them. And I think that's definitely something that's important. Now, I did find it interesting looking at how the premium different tiers are and how these different apps price. Hinge is the most expensive.
How much is Hinge?
Is like $35 a month.
Is that just their base? Like,
I think so. I think they only have one price. Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. What would they? I guess that you are. I feel like you are limited quite a bit in how many messages you can send on Hinge.
Oh, it's $30 a month, $29.99.
Yeah.
You are a lot more limited as to what you can do on Hinge without paying.
Yeah.
You might only get like 15
you get like
to
one
like
rose.
25.
Is it like one rose a week or something like that?
It's still one rose a week, even if you pay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you have to pay for extra roses.
Yeah. Wow.
So you get one rose a week on Hinge. You have your Discover page, which is where you look at people's pages and comment on it, like I described earlier. You have your Standout page, which is a page where you're only allowed to give out a selection of 10 users of rose. You can't message them or match them without sending a rose. They could pop up in your Discover page, but the Standout page is specific to users that Tinder thinks you'd be interested in, and they're also training accounts, I think, or training responses on it, something that gets a lot of activity. So that you can only use once a week. I think it refreshes every Sunday. Every Sunday you get a new rose and you can give it to one of the users on the Standout page. You can also give it to any user on the Discover page as you're going through, but Standouts are designed specifically for that. But if you do pay for Hinge, you get unlimited likes. You get to set your preferences a little bit more when it comes to, are you interested with somebody who's taller than you, shorter than you? What education, what family plans they have? Do they want kids? Do they currently have kids? You can filter all that out up front. You can see who likes you. You can see who likes you already for free on Hinge, but you can only see your most recent like. So for me or you, where we don't get too many likes, that's not all that big of a deal. But if you're thinking about a very attractive man or your standard woman, if you're a woman, you know how many likes you get. There's no question about this. It might be useful to be able to scroll through your likes to be able to just weed out what you're interested in, rather than having to manually like or dislike every single one from the most recent to the oldest. And they claim that you get 2 times more matches or dates. So I don't know how that figure comes up, but they say you get 2 times more dates with paying.
Interesting.
Now on Tinder, you can start at $5 a month. You get unlimited likes. Same thing. You already get about like 50 likes on Tinder. I hardly ever use all 50. It takes quite some time and effort, especially when you're using 5 different apps. And then you can also control your age and distance. I think that means if you want people to see your age and distance, you can actually toggle that on and off. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's age and distance. You can choose to see you. So I think if it's a friend of a friend, somehow you can like toggle that off.
How do they know that?
Maybe it's not friends of friends. I know Facebook dating has that because Facebook has your connections. But I think they have rather, you can turn off. No, you can already turn off to have your page off is one thing on the free tier, right?
Do you think it has anything to do with your like contact info? Like, can they turn off people that? I
don't know. Maybe I'd have to look into that a little bit more.
Are in the contacts of other people that you've matched before or something?
You can do some research and put it in the show notes.
I won't.
Wonderful. You can have your passport where you can travel globally. This is all the $5 a month stuff, and along with many of these other apps, I think Bumble has this too. Oh, Bumble has passports as well. When you pay, you can travel anywhere, and you can have unlimited rewinds. So a rewind is you accidentally liked somebody and you didn't want to like them, you can rewind that action. Or if you missed somebody that you meant to like, you can rewind that action. Even when I've paid for Tinder or Bumble, that's something I rarely ever use. It's not all that important to me. Tinder also has ads. So this is probably why they can have such low prices, because they have ads on their app. So they're already making money anyway.
How do you feel about their ads?
How do I feel about their ads?
Yeah.
Like
while you're swiping, then
morally, or
just like as a user?
As a user, it doesn't really frustrate me all that much. It's so quick to swipe off of it.
I just find it funny when you're like swiping a lot and then you accidentally swipe on an ad and then it like pops up.
Oh yeah, okay.
Immediately.
That is kind of annoying too. If you accidentally click on one, it'll pop up the browser or something, and then you have to close it out and start swiping again. So that could be frustrating. But it does remove ads if you do pay $5 a month. You also can pay any way you want. You can pay $5 a month, or you can pay for the whole year, which reduces the premium.
I thought it was more than $5.
That's Tinder Plus. Now there's Tinder Gold and there's Tinder Premium.
I didn't know there was a Tinder Plus.
So everything I just said now was all just for Tinder Plus. Unlimited likes, that rewind, your passport, ads removed, seeing who, choosing who you see, but you can't see who liked you yet. It's not until you have Tinder Gold can you see who likes you. You also get that top picks feature. That top picks feature is something like you see the best profiles out there, and you can manually look at all. You can look at them at your free will and swipe left and right. Chances of you actually matching John with any of them pretty slim, but it's out there for you if you do choose to use Tinder.
Yeah.
You get one boost a month. How was your experience with boosts?
I think it depended on when I used them. I didn't know, like, I think I used to get, when I got gold and I would just use it immediately on like a Tuesday night, like nothing would happen. I think if I used it on a night, like a Friday night, and I was in an area that was busy, I would get like a few matches, not like a ton, but more than I would in like a normal day.
Yeah. I guess I always try to do it towards the evening. I've had some days where I've actually gotten some matches, other days that I didn't. Also during this time, because if you are using Boost, it means you probably have gold. So you can see your likes come in. It's kind of uneventful, I think. I think because it's like set for 30 minutes to an hour. I forget how long it is.
Yeah.
You're thinking, well, if I swipe, I want to maximize this now since I have it turned on. So I'm going to swipe for the next 30 minutes. So you kind of just waste 30 minutes of your day there.
Not like that, yeah.
So it's that extra pressure of actually using Boost. 5 super likes a week you get with Tinder Gold, and all the other features for Tinder Plus. Then now they have Tinder Platinum that just came out recently, I think. You can message people now before matching, which is similar to what you can already do on Hinge for free anyway. Yeah. So I don't think that's a platinum feature. You can have your likes prioritized. So what this means, and I did pay for Tinder Platinum for a month when we went out to the Midwest. It means after you do all your likes, you can look through them and choose if you want to super like any of them. Now they say prioritize. I think that's the extent of it. Maybe you can reorder them to say, okay, I want this like to see me higher up on the spectrum. I think that's also part of it. Not that you can manually say who sees you first, but because you now pay for Tinder Platinum, anybody you like, you're prioritized to pop up on their page first, or earlier at least. Anything you want to add there?
No, I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yeah, I think I showed it to you briefly when we
Oh,
were in Wisconsin.
the liking thing.
Yeah, I think I showed
Priority.
you that briefly when we were in Wisconsin. That I think is $25 a month. I realized I didn't write down the price here for that, but Bumble has similar pricing when it comes to uh, gold and platinum pricing. It's 15 a month for gold. It's 16.99 for the base price for Bumble, which is called Boost, and then premium for Bumble is $40 a month. So this shit gets expensive. I think Tinder definitely has the cheapest options available for people. But Boost, I tried Boost out. You ever tried Boost?
On Tinder?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just spoke about that.
No, not the Boost feature, their Boost plan.
No, what's that?
I think that's their starting plan. So you
Oh.
have the Boost plan and you have the premium plan. Do you remember if you ever, well, you paid. You
I just got gold on Tinder.
Okay, well, I was asking about Bumble.
Oh, well, we said Tinder.
No, I asked if you ever used the subscription plan on Bumble. I said Boost, but
I don't
may have confused it by that.
I don't think so. I don't know if I paid for it when we went to Arizona. I think I paid for the cheapest one when we left Arizona because I had all these matches from Arizona that I was tired of seeing on Bumble.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think when we left Arizona, I had like 50 or so, or no,
50.
no, I definitely had like,
Oh, you mean likes?
yeah, likes
Got you.
that like I couldn't see, and I was tired of having them because I'm like, I'm not getting any of these matches in Jersey, so I just want to like see like what I actually got, just so I can like
Got you.
set it back to zero.
Yeah, so for I used it once too. I didn't care for it too much. But what you do get is unlimited likes, like you mentioned, and you can see who liked you. So similar to Tinder Gold, you can see who likes you, and you can swipe as much as you want. You also get not you get super likes a week. They call it super swipes. So same amount that you get on Tinder. You get one spotlight a week. Spotlight a week, which is the same thing as a boost, but you get it weekly, so you get a little bit more out of that, I guess. You get unlimited extends. So we didn't talk about Bumble with how Bumble works, but Bumble, the woman talks first. And
and you can extend it if they don't message you in like 24 hours or something.
yeah, so that's what it is. Like the woman would have to message you in 24 hours if they're interested in talking to you. Now, a lot of times women will swipe on you and then realize later on they're not actually interested, and no harm. They just wait 24 hours and you're gone. Now, persistent men might pay for extending some of these matches and continue to extend people that they find attractive, but don't know if that really pans out too much. That's why I don't really care for extends too much, because I feel like if somebody didn't message in the first place, they're probably not all that interested.
Yeah.
Now it could also just mean you are one out of many in a sea of men. So extended might help you stand out a bit.
Yeah, I wonder like when you extend it, does it put you like further up in their matches? Like back?
I think it might. I mean, it definitely notifies them. So I think that notification would stand out a little bit more than just a random match. It's like, wow, somebody extended me.
And I guess if you click on the notification, it probably brings you directly to message the person.
Yeah.
Like it like increases your chances of them messaging you. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I would think, but I also my only thing that I don't think is all that valuable from extending is because
Well, they didn't message you already.
they didn't message you already, and they were just waiting the 24 hours for you to expire.
Yeah.
Is really what it is. But you get unlimited extends if you pay, and you only get one a week, or I think it's one a day or one a week.
Is
you have
Bumble
it for free.
like your memberships you pay for like a week or like 2 weeks or something weird like that? Like they last for shorter? I thought I remember it being like that.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
On Bumble, like are the memberships like for a month or were they shorter?
Oh, I didn't do like I didn't like the whole breakdown between months, weeks, or 6 months
I
out.
feel like when I got the thing on Bumble, like it was just for like a week. Like you would pay just for like a week.
I do remember seeing that one. I think for Bumble, they had a 1 week feature where you can pay less, but you're paying at a premium when you pay for a shorter amount of time than if you were to pay, say, annually.
Yeah.
You'll save money in the long term, but if you're not using it for the whole year, then it just kind of goes to waste. And you have to pay a lot up front too, so it's whether or not you want to do that. Yeah, I do think you can start out as on a week. I don't think you can do that for Tinder or Hinge. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's the one. I think that's the one that I got on Bumble.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You also can do rematches.
So for things that expire.
So, yeah, actually, yeah, that's what it is. So anyone who expires, you can have them rematch with you. So you can bring back to life any expired matches. And then you can also do backtracks, which is rewinds from Tinder. Same idea. All those are unlimited. Then the premium, which is $39.99. Oh, so in the boost, you actually don't get your see who likes you. It's only if you pay for their premium, which now that I'm thinking about it, must have been what we both paid for. Because you paid simply for removing your whole pool of people from Arizona. And so I remember also seeing the whole line of people who liked me. Because I think it was always it was a similar like frustration with me too. With wanting to pay for Bumble, because for the longest time I wasn't really getting much luck on Bumble. I was also not as active, but it was always like the same fixed number there, like 15 people. And I'm like, I'm not swiping left on them apparently, or I'm not matching with them. It's still 15. Yeah. What is Bumble doing? I want to just see who these people are.
Yeah, I always found that odd because I feel like with Tinder, you would have a number there, but you would at least eventually like come across and like you would like match with somebody and that number would go down. Like I
think that's true. I've realized that a lot with Tinder. It fluctuates a lot faster. Yeah. With Bumble, that number would be so static.
Yeah.
And so if your profile's not all that interested, I'm guessing you don't get as many likes, but they also don't show you the people who like you all that much either. But it could also be that their filters are actually being used, maybe with like people who are outside of your distance or people who are outside of your age preference. They have with premium advanced filters similar to I think what Hinge had, where you can filter based on not age, height, preferences of how many kids they have. I think you can filter by zodiac signs or political opinions, all that stuff. In the case, like all that really holds a lot of value to you in a relationship. And they have an incognito mode.
What does that do?
I think, so you might also have this for Tinder, which is what we may have been talking about a little bit.
Where you can swipe, but you're not discoverable?
Exactly. So that might be what controlling who sees you is about too. So you can swipe, but only people you like on sees you. So that helps keep your profile a little bit more on the down low. And then you get your travel mode. That's interesting. You get travel mode and you get you get travel mode, I think, on the lowest pricing model with Tinder for only $5 a month, but you have to pay $40 a month to get it on Bumble. Anyway, any thoughts about Bumble?
I love Bumble. Bumble's great. Got my best matches on Bumble.
Not me.
Best dates.
You know, I had better quality dates, like you mentioned, on Bumble much earlier than I got quality dates out of Tinder. But I will say now, looking back at it with where I am now, I've gotten more quality dates out of Tinder.
Do you think because are you using Tinder more, or are you using them still the same amount?
Oh, I've always used Tinder more, so that definitely plays a factor. But you like you mentioned, you get far fewer dates, you get far fewer messages on Bumble, but the messages you do get, it's already somebody who's interested in you because they messaged you first, and they had no other choice to, but they messaged you first.
Yeah.
So it forces that conversation to start. Anything else here? No, I think I already went through Hinge as well. And I've also rejoined Facebook. I've been off of social media for a while. until this past year. And I got back on Facebook simply for trying out Facebook dating. And I've been back on Facebook since. But Facebook dating, I haven't had any dates that came out of it. It hasn't been all that eventful. I get a lot more shady matches on Facebook than I do on any of these other apps. Most of them are foreign women. Nothing shady about foreign women. But it's also a lot of accounts that it's hard to tell whether or not they're real.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add about any of these apps?
No. I mean, I like Bumble. I feel like Bumble was always my favorite. Bumble and Hinge. Never really liked Tinder.
Got you. I love Tinder.
I mean, Tinder, I feel like it's like we were saying, like if you did the math and like ratioed matches to successful dates, even if Bumble and Hinge are less matches, I probably a lot more successful dates. Like the fraction is a higher amount.
Yeah, so that's the unhealthy part about Tinder is you'll spend more time with less results.
Yeah,
I think, or lower quality results, and so you put the effort in. And I think Tinder will pay you greater rewards, perhaps in the end. Well, what's your approach?
I don't have an approach. No, well, I think I spoke about it a little bit. The only approach that I had for any of these apps was just to try to show a little more personality in some way, where maybe my like photos couldn't make up for that.
Well, how would you design your profile?
Well, I used to put like memes or like funny photos. I did that on Tinder, but I feel like I got like significantly less matches when I did that, so then I stopped doing that. I completely forgot what my bio was. My bio was the same across Tinder,
Bumble and
Hinge.
and
Bumble, but I think Hinge, like your bio is also filled with a ton of prompts. Like my bio on Hinge, I think was the best, the best in terms of like showcasing who I am, I guess. I don't know.
On Hinge, you said?
Yeah, on Hinge.
And I think that's something I failed to mention here is that Bumble and Hinge do both have prompts. Hinge, I think, is more clear to show who you are.
Yeah.
But Bumble does also as well include prompts to be able to tell a little bit more of a story about yourself. But Tinder doesn't have any of that.
I think I liked Hinge too because you could add in any type of photo. Like it wouldn't crop it. Like if you add in a photo to Bumble or Tinder, they're all in that
Tinder does that. I hate that so much.
Thing. So like it's very hard to get like all of a photo that you want on those. But Hinge, I think Hinge would be cropped while you're swiping. When you click into someone's profile, you would see the full version of the photo, whether it was like really tall or like a wide photo.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
I know one of my biggest frustrations with Tinder is if you wanted to try to crop somebody out, you can't even zoom in when you're selecting a picture.
Oh yeah.
It's whatever size they see. It's kind of stuck like that.
Yeah, and like they even show you like you can like move the photo
but you
around,
can't.
but you can't. So I'm like, why?
Yeah,
I used to not like that at all because like if you had a photo of yourself that was slightly off center,
exactly,
it would just crop your arm off or something.
I would see that all the time. I'd have to manually go into my phone and crop it myself. Yeah. That was the biggest frustration. I think Bumble and Hinge both do a better job at that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I really had an approach. What do you mean by approach?
So, for example,
like how I would message people?
Yeah. What's your what
I saw you added the are you from Hawaii thing. I did that a ton of times after Sam told me that.
That one I think works the best.
Yeah, that did actually work. I think
So yeah, for all you guys out there, if you want to steal some lines, I know we have a huge audience out here tonight. One of our best pickup lines was, "Are you from Hawaii?" Because hi. If you don't get it, look up the abbreviation of Hawaii. It'll hopefully make sense.
Yeah, I feel like I used that on somebody that I ended up going on a couple dates with. Maybe someone that we mentioned on one of these dating history things, but I don't remember who exactly.
You know, that would be interesting to see across all my dates. What was my first message? I know one of my recent dates was actually somebody who messaged me first.
Mm.
Yep. Doesn't happen too often, but it could happen.
I do always think like how well, like on Bumble, I would get such shitty messages sometimes. Like I would just get girls saying hi sometimes
Oh,
too.
you know what? That's the funny thing. I wanted to mention that too.
I think I wrote that down because there were so many times where even a very attractive girl would match with me and then she would say hi. Then I would try, and then it just like when someone says hi, it gives you nothing. So it's like almost I have to try to like ignite the conversation. And then they would show no interest in talking to me. But I'm like, you're the one that said hi. And I'm like, you're acting like you're not interested, but you started the conversation.
They had to, John. They had to.
Well, I mean, but it's like a choice to start the conversation. Like
you're right.
They
you're
could
right.
have just left it.
Yeah.
So like they were at least, I guess, somewhat interested, but maybe it's like my fault. Was I just supposed to say hi back? Would that has made them super interested?
So they did swipe right on you, and they did send that message rather than letting you expire. So that was
all about how you respond to that.
That is very thoughtful of them. Now I will say it is unfair because it's that same idea of on Tinder, women are expecting men to message first, and a hey is not quality enough. Now, maybe it is still fair though, because men don't get nearly as many messages as women do. So a hey stands out just as much as as a pickup line for women.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because I think like I would love to see like a girl's profile, because it's probably just like 200 matches of just multiple men just saying hi, hey, hi, hey.
So
hey.
Funny story. A couple weeks ago, and I forget if I told you about this. I was hanging out with a friend of mine who does listen to the show on occasion. Her name's Dahlia. Shout out, Dahlia.
Hello.
She's a friend of mine from the boot camp that I did, and she, when we went out for some drinks, she asked to set up a dating profile. Oh, actually, I don't know if I could share that. If she's okay with me sharing that, I'll follow up with her after this, and I'll ask. If she's okay with it, then we're good. If not, I'll let you know to cut her name out. But if you are okay with it, she set up her profile, and from that, immediately within the first like 5 minutes, she had like 30 matches. Same happened with Sam. I think I don't remember if I was there with Sam when she first set up her Tinder profile. Before she started dating John, before she started dating her ex.
Jonathan.
Sorry. Jonathan, friend of the show, brother of Josh.
Coronel, boyfriend of Sam.
Yeah, we always have to let them know. And I mentioned an ex too. Sam was dating somebody, of course, before Jonathan. And at that time is when she got on Tinder, I think, before then. And I remember her showing me she received a notification saying that she had 3,000 and so on likes. I'm like,
that's incredible.
What the fuck? So that's something that, with the huge pool of men on Tinder, it's not unreasonable for just being anyone. I mean, not saying that Sam is normal. She's definitely above average.
Why'd you pause?
I agree. I thought you said you wanted to say something.
I didn't say anything.
You signaled.
No.
Oh.
I wasn't even looking at you.
Well, audience, the people on the
video
camera
listeners
could tell you.
Audio listeners, go back and watch. I wasn't even looking at him.
And so
this man paused after saying Sam was above average.
And so when I was setting up my friend's profile, within the first few minutes, it was 30 matches. I was handling a lot of like 5-10 different conversations at once. It was a lot of fun. You don't have that much fun on a guy's profile.
I wonder how, like, man, we need to get a woman's perspective on operating Tinder.
I think the fun part about it, or maybe not, I think as a woman, and we can definitely get a woman's input, is that because there's so many men on it, they also care a lot more about what they're messaging, and they don't want to come across as careless as a guy would come across sometimes. At least as careless as I might come across. I might just be speaking out of my own mind, because I don't feel like I'm losing much or I have too much at stake when I'm messaging people. And I know a woman would have a lot more people to have a lot less at stake. But from when I've been using somebody else's profile that's a woman, they seem to care a lot more about what you say or who you swipe on, because they're a lot more selective.
That's interesting. Did you have many women on Tinder that you can reach out to and ask if they want to give you their opinions on Tinder?
I got like 200 matches, but I don't think none of them would care to join a podcast episode.
No, not to join, but you should just message them and ask them their thoughts, and we could take screenshots and post it on Instagram.
Oh, sure. You know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I might get a few responses out of that. All right, I'll try that out.
And you should try it with new matches and see if that also helps you.
Sure.
Just like a new match, just be like, hey, like I have a podcast. I just want to get your like opinion on using Tinder, and just use that as your intro. You could probably figure out a better one-liner that you can send to people. Oh, but don't copy and paste it. The same intro.
Why not?
Because then Tinder will like. I think they don't like that when you like send.
I do it all the time.
Messages.
Do
you really?
I haven't gotten banned yet.
All right, so then just do it.
You've gotten banned. I haven't gotten banned.
Yeah.
We didn't get into that story.
Yeah, I got banned. I think because of the group Tinder that we made earlier in COVID, which I don't know if we mentioned on this podcast, but our friend group made on a single account. We had a group Tinder where each photo was like a different one of us. And we were all signed in on that account on our phone separately. And then almost all of us, there were a few that weren't, but a lot of us that had it, that were signed in on our phones, were banned.
On your personal accounts?
Yeah, on our personal accounts too. And it was like a device ban. And like when I reached out to, like, I couldn't even make a new account. I couldn't sign into other people's accounts. Like I couldn't do anything. And Tinder wouldn't give me any info as to why.
You're convinced that it's this group Tinder, and our other friends are too. But it could have been a number of other things.
That too. But I think what sucks is like they don't actually like tell you anything. And I think that's what, like, when I was emailing them, my last email was like not about having them unban it, because I think I was trying to ask them if they could like restore my account. But I was like, can you just tell me why? Like, if anything, like I don't need my account back. I just want to know why.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to ask why. And it was and I think there's probably good reason why you were banned.
Wait, did I ever tell you that I know why? I actually do know why. Well, if this is the reason, because I know a message that somebody sent using the group Tinder that had got us banned.
What was it?
I don't know if I'm allowed to. Maybe I'll tell you off the podcast.
Just cut it out. No, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, I can't say, I won't say who it was, but I believe they were, they said something about like wanting to kill them or something, like as a joke, like to one of the, like they made like a threat of violence or something as a joke.
Was this somebody who got upset or petty over?
No,
okay. I remember somebody getting petty over something. Anyway, well, we can talk about it more later. Well, while somebody might be doing that on Tinder, you did that on your Instagram account.
Yeah, and I got flagged on Instagram for saying that I would. What did I say exactly?
I don't know what.
I said something about, it was off a post that Sam made or something about like beating people up. I don't know. My phone's broken, so I can't tell you.
But they do, at least on Instagram now. They have something. If you don't know about it, called account status. You can go into your settings, your account, to account status, and if you have any flags on your account, it would pop up there. I have a clear record. Of course, John doesn't. He was threatening to kill somebody.
I was kind of surprised that it was only that, because I've probably said like stupid stuff on Instagram before.
Fair. And with that note, I think John probably got banned on Tinder by threatening to kill some people.
Well, yeah, that's what we said in our chat. Like, I probably unknowingly had some threats of violence of my own on Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
well, I didn't even talk about what I would do thereafter. So it would be the Hawaii message, or it would be the Tinder stars must be aligned tonight, or I would just say something that's related to their profile. to get the conversation rolling. Good like 50% of the time it actually works. And from there, I wouldn't put too much. I've changed a lot from before and now. Before, I think I used to put a lot of effort in trying to become interesting, like you were describing. I think it takes away from a lot by putting too much effort in. Either it comes across wrong, at least when it's from me, because I'm not as funny as you are, or
And you're kind of mean.
and I'm kind of a great person, and so I just kind of just don't let the conversation dwell as much. Now I actually uh just naturally let it flow sometimes. Sometimes I'll just allow the conversation just to be like, "Oh, how is your day going?" and find out a little bit more about that, see what it is that they do, and hopefully have those questions reciprocated so we can actually have a conversation rather than just trying to say something that is funny or to the point and trying to get a date right off the bat. And I know that's usually the recommendation, but I felt like I've had more success when I've had natural conversations, and then it's carried over to Instagram. I usually try to bring it over to Instagram somewhere within the first like 10 to 20 messages, because it's just like you don't want to have the conversation on Tinder. It could be unmatched at any time, where like somebody could not want to be on Tinder anymore. Like you had a month experience of having a conversation with your current girlfriend on Hinge. So it's not something that I care to keep it on Tinder as much. And I think you also stand out a little bit more if you're either either texting them or you're messaging them in their DMs on Instagram.
Yeah, I think sharing Instagram is cool because then you can also just see more about each other. So you can like add to
that too. Also, I guess on a side note, some girls might not want to share their Instagram because they don't want you to see their personal life.
that too.
Or if they might have a boyfriend that they don't want you to know about. But that's about it. Usually for first dates, I would try to aim for going out for drinks. And then something that I usually do is before, and I mentioned this to you before, I didn't want to make a first move on the first date because with the impression that they would say, okay, well, actually this guy is not all that bad. He has a good personality. He's a great person, and he's okay just leaving the night as is. Isn't that crazy for more?
But you're really just holding yourself back with all your strength because in reality that's not true. You would ravage them on the spot, but you're feigning this nice guy look. So then on the second date, you'll rip their clothes off.
And so that's why I don't do that anymore. Now I always recommend to come back to my place and watch a movie.
Oh yeah, I saw you put that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like a pretty solid bet. Have you had any like movie dates that nothing came from?
Movie dates usually resulted in follow-up dates.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've had a movie date that hasn't resulted in a follow-up date.
And what are you watching on your movie dates?
I've watched a variety of movies.
I never hear you talking about many movies. I think you told me the other day about a movie you watched, I think.
What was the latest one?
I think you mentioned it. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I've done more TV series recently, so that's probably why I'm struggling here.
But you're watching a TV episode on a first date?
Oh, sometimes. Have I? No, I haven't. I think first dates have usually been movies.
Yeah.
It's not always that you get a movie date on the first date. It's hard to get because it's not often that somebody's comfortable to go over to your place to watch a movie. But I mean, second dates with people, I've done TV shows.
Hello.
Wow, what do you think that is? Somebody is here. Can we actually pause just so I can answer this?
Yeah, we can. Hey guys, we're back. There was a fire outside.
Yeah. We're at Joe Rogan's office. We forgot to mention that earlier on. Tends to happen here.
Because of the LA fires.
Yeah.
Topical.
Are you okay without a mic?
No. Also, guys, if you're a video watcher, you're getting a real treat right now. Josh, we're going to end this episode with a review of Josh's Tinder profile. But I also realized I might want to flip this camera, and I can't do it while I'm recording.
You want me to hold that? And like you take over my phone and you look at it and you do as you please, and I'll just.
Or do you want to show your phone? Like show your phone to the camera.
Okay, we can try that.
And I'll just look at it. That's your first photo.
This is my first photo. Can you describe it to the listeners?
Oops. It's Josh like ripping his what is that Hawaiian shirt open. Did I take this? I took this when we were at the fair. No, Sam took this on her film camera.
Yeah,
that's
something
nice
like that. Yeah,
that's a very like character, showing who you are, also showing your chest and your nipple.
Yeah, you can see my nipples. You can see my chest. You can see my face. And it was at the Ferris wheel is what it was at the fair that we went to, and the state fair it was. So yeah. Second picture.
Us at Portillo's. I love that. That's a really good photo showing that you have friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like this one.
It's at Portillo's, which is a fast food chain in Chicago. And I intentionally did this one. I like this one a lot because I'm standing next to Sam, and Sam is still short. She's about 4'11". I'm only 5'7".
She's like a regular girl.
Yeah, she could just be any regularly height girl. And John is kneeled down, so he's not making me look short. So like my height just looks
very strategic.
Very average here is what my height is looking like. But in reality, I'm only 5'7". So there's that. Then I have a picture with me and my brother.
Oh, and your dog.
And my dog is there in the background.
I like that. You have a lot of film photos.
Oh yeah.
You have a lot of photos in general. We're only 3 and there's a ton more.
Oh yeah, I guess I should speed through. This one shows my fresh cut.
Yeah.
This one shows us at Hoboken. Nice. This one is in New York City, Bryant Park. Very focused, blurred background, with a scarf on and good lighting.
Yeah, nice jacket.
And the jacket.
Was this last year?
This was last year.
Oh,
yep.
Nice.
Handstand.
Oh my God.
The back definition. What you think?
Yeah, it's definitely something you would have on your profile.
Should I keep it on my profile?
I'm sure girls like it.
Okay, cool.
Oops. My stomach made a noise. Nice. I like this one. I like that photo.
Yeah. Thanks for the description. Not everyone's seeing it.
What it is?
Yeah. You can't just say, I like this photo.
He's overlooking the ocean and all you see is bicep, head, and body.
Yeah.
He looks like a big thumb.
I cropped Josh Loves out of this one. I think he saw this picture. He was a little upset that I cropped him out. Here we are.
Mustache photo. Me, Josh, and Nolan with a nice green background. He's wearing the same flannel that he's wearing right now, actually.
It was fall season, and it's fall season again.
Nice.
Yep, so it's the mustache look. All right, that's all.
It. Wow, Nolan would be happy to know that he's on your Tinder.
Oh, you should let him know. You should let him know.
That's funny.
And then here's the extent of my actual profile.
Oh, it's pretty short.
Yeah, you want to read it?
Ecuatoriano and European roots. Podcaster and data scientist in finance, and then your IG. Yeah, very simple, but I like how you have the Ecuadorian part in Spanish.
Yeah, I try to give off a vibe that I'm cultured. It works out, but then like when you meet me in person, I don't actually know Spanish. I come across with that quick though. Like if someone asks me about my Spanish background, I'll tell them that my Spanish is trash. So what would you rate it? I don't have my Spotify connected because I don't have a Spotify. I know that's another feature that a lot of people like to use so they can put their top song.
Do you listen to music?
I do listen to music.
On Spotify?
Oh, on Spotify? No, I use Apple Music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What would I rate it? Do I have to rate it as if I was a girl swiping on Tinder?
Yeah, put yourself in the shoes of a beautiful woman, like a baddie, 10 out of 10 baddie,
Yeah.
and you see this profile out of all these men.
Oh, but there's so many options now when I
Mhm.
put myself in those shoes. And you're like,
Where do
like
I
a
stand?
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
But I feel like most guys are 7 out of 10s.
Okay. What could make it better?
Maybe something else in your bio.
Okay. What should I put in my
Um,
bio, John?
So I think all we have is like where you are and what you do, but who are you? You know?
Oh, it has my name too.
Oh yeah, I missed that part. No, you should add something. This is genuine. You should add something about how you like meditation and painting and like something a little more cultured.
Telling about who I am.
Yeah, just to add that as like an intro or like reading too.
Mhm.
Like just I don't know.
Yeah.
But you could keep it simple. I like how your thing is also really simple. So long as it's not like taking up too much space. If not, I think it's pretty good.
I have had that in the past where I've like bullet pointed off a few different things about myself. About like going to a gym, about meditation, about reading, running,
Yeah.
writing, different areas of my interests. But I felt like it was too much. I didn't like it too much. So
Yeah, I mean,
I've cut back on it.
I don't like I feel like girls probably don't care about like if you're just listing off like I go to the gym. Like I think they can tell you go to the gym. So
Mhm.
but if it's something like interesting, I mean I guess like the podcaster thing is probably interesting. Do you have many people like ask you about that?
No, actually not.
Oh, okay.
I almost get 0 questions about
I guess
it.
like a lot of girls don't really care about male podcasters.
Maybe not. I mean, you also mentioned too, we've had conversations. I think there's occasionally a stigma against it just because it's something that it's a
it's
space
very-
many people can enter
Yeah,
into if they
yeah.
want to.
Yeah, it's kind of like a meme, a
Mm-hmm.
bit of a meme now. I don't think it's like a bad thing on your profile, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, people
like
will
your
have their
photos.
different interpretations of it.
yeah. I like your photos. They have a wide variety. What made you choose to stack up the photos? Because I've seen some people only have like 3 photos.
So to show a little more authenticity,
What do you think? I wonder if girls really look through all of them.
you don't have to, as long as you
I
get
guess
a
your
good
first
sense
couple
in the,
are like
yeah.
pretty good. I like your first one.
Mhm.
It's pretty different because it's like an action photo.
Yeah, so as long as they get that first few, that tells enough about myself, I feel good about it. They don't have to make it to the end. What do you have going on tonight?
Just wanted to look. All right, let me give you a rating. I'll give you a proper rating. I don't know. It's hard to rate.
Man,
Rate a male's profile.
You fucking suck at this.
If I still had Tinder,
I would run
you
your
would probably run
profile
me to the
apart.
ground. Yeah, you'd probably run me to the ground.
This would be so much more entertaining
Um,
if you said Tinder.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I think I still give you 7 out of 10. Some of the photos you put, I would consider to be a bit cringe, but that's just a guy looking at another guy's Tinder profile. So
Hey man, I mean, if there's
I
better
don't think
photos out there,
my opinion matters that much. What you need is a girl's opinion.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, will do.
Ooh, I hit the wrong button, but it kind of
It worked out
sound nice.
nicely.
Yeah, we're 2 glasses wearing guys. Starting to look a little more similar now.
That's good.
Wearing glasses was all I had that made me different, and now people are really not going to be able to tell us apart.
Bro, you don't have the beard. You don't have the beard like I do.
Yeah, that's true.
You can work on
Guys, you
it.
can differentiate Josh by knowing that he has a beard. No, I don't want to work on it.
No?
But guys, this is the end of the podcast. What was your favorite part?
The part where we reviewed my profile. No, actually, that was kind of shit. I was hoping that this would be a lot more fun at the end.
I was expecting more, but your profile is very simple too.
I like to keep it simple.
Yeah, so you didn't have like, if you had like a cringy bio or something, I could make fun of you, but I don't like to make fun of your photos. I'm just calling you ugly. You want me to call you ugly?
You can call me ugly.
I think you're ugly. I don't find you attractive.
Do you not? I thought you
No,
did.
I do find you're handsome. I'm sure people find you handsome is what I mean.
For real, John. Why don't you tell me?
We'll have to discuss it off podcast. All right, guys.
Well, I mean, if you enjoyed this episode, listen to some more where we should talk more. Check us out on our show notes. You can find our link to our website and links to all of our socials. So do check it out.
Yeah. Subscribe and keep swiping.
Keep swiping. Yeah. Oh, and also let us know about your dating experiences. Let us know about what you think about my profile. Give it a rating.
Oh yeah, maybe for Thursday we'll have your profile on blast on Instagram.
Oh,
Screenshots of your profile.
we could.
I guess we couldn't include everything, but I guess maybe just like a few of the photos in your bio or something.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Right. We can try our best. See what we can come up with.
Yeah.
All right,
guys.
Thank you for listening. You know, you gotta get better at this closing thing.